Senator Munson.
Thank you, Speaker. On behalf of the Progressive Senate Caucus, we fully support Senator Moody's call for an emergency debate. It's interesting that we have to wait for a chief to get injured, somebody to get killed to get our attention again, as I said in the statement earlier. And I feel there's a bit of a scramble putting all of these notes together in supporting this call for this debate. But Senator Platt talked about 4 hours. Well, 4 hours is a good start. And in your ruling, Mr. Speaker, in reference to Senator Tkachuk, when he called for an emergency debate February 6, 2018, you ruled in favor. It was a debate on expanding the Trans Mountain Pipeline. And you said in your ruling that, of course, having a debate would not preclude an inquiry. So I think that's an important point to make. When it comes to systemic racism or institutionalized racism, we know in this country that it's very prevalent everywhere. Hiring in the public service, hiring in the private sector, in the arts, in sports, in institutions, perhaps like this. And I think we have to deal with this directly. I find it interesting that as we start off this argument to have this debate, that it's fitting that 30 years ago, on June 18th, 1990, Nelson Mandela stood in the other place and spoke of a joint parliamentary sitting. He spoke to it. And he spoke of a free and inclusive South Africa. Today, we need to speak about a free and inclusive Canada. There has been polls recently that have showed 61% of Canadians believe they're certain or almost certain that there's systemic racism in this country. I worry and I'm concerned what the other 39% are thinking at this time. And if we want to look at systemic racism, if you do agree with this, Mr. Speaker, I'll have lots of notes, and I'm sure, to talk about this. And we talk about other senators not being here. We haven't been able to speak for other senators, and I know other senators have spoken for other senators and other groups that haven't been here. There's about 35 of us here today, 35 or 40 of us here today. And as I said at the beginning of my arguments, it's a really good start. We have to get at this and look at this seriously. Because just think about it, systemic racism is about white superiority and power in all aspects of our life. It's what prevents anyone who is not white from having equal access to a successful life. And we are most often not really aware of our racist behaviors. That is called unconscious bias. So with that, Mr. Speaker, I leave it, of course, with you to make your decision. But if it's not now, when? Thank you very much.